Today, we are here to answer.
There we go.
That's the word. All of your hardest hitting questions, like yours, metaphorically, of course, is a thing that I found on Reddit ages ago, where the world has asked questions about Britain. So today, we're going to answer them.
If you can hear Mabel banging around, it's because she's trying to bury her dentist stick that I gave her in her crate. So she is clattering quite a bit.
She's not doing a very good job of burying it. She's trying to bury it in a pillow, and she's confused why it's not working.
So we're gonna have some breakfast tea today. You can't read this one
because we're talking about Britain. We've got two teas
that aren't from Britain.
Two breakfast teas. One's New York breakfast.
Yours, New York.
And the other is Melbourne breakfast.
Actually, you want to swap because I've had the Melbourne breakfast before.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. I don't want that stupid American tea anyway.
It's probably full of high fructose corn.
Yeah, those ungrateful shitheads. It's probably got 7 gallons of sugar in it.
Probably got arsenic in there.
Yeah, probably arsenic.
No.
Oh, what a fanny.
Oh, that's fucking hot.
Yeah, it's boiling water, mate.
Yeah. Let's put yours in.
We should have asked people in the Discord and in the comments and whatever for
Britain questions.
For questions that they would ask us. Anyway, welcome. Here we go. Nice to be back. How are you all? Good to see you. Welcome. Hello to Cash Cow and Dale and
to Cash Cow's daughters. Dale's daughters. I was asking about them in the server earlier. They're doing really well.
Hello to Gay for Bray.
Hello to Gay for Bray.
And one proud Ukrainian.
Yes.
Always in the comments.
Always in the comments.
Giving us nice thoughts and prayers. And, everyone in the comments.
Everyone. I've been hearting a lot of comments recently. I really appreciate all the positivity.
I'm going to shout everyone else out because we'd be here forever.
We'd be here all day. But yes, thank you so much for all the nice comments. It's really nice to hear.
Today, we're going to talk about what the world wants to know about Britain. I think I saw this from a political Twitter or whatever.
It's probably from Reddit or something, right?
Okay. Some of these are political, right? In fact, a lot of these are political now that I read them.
Well,
but some of them are also goddamn hilarious.
All right,
okay?
go on.
So, we're going to start at the top and just work our way down,
sure.
Okay? This is going to be... we're going to have to dodge some real bullets here.
I won't. You know I won't.
Number 1 is from Cyprus.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the British Army in Cyprus? It's a long story. Let's just move on. It's a long story. Lots of stuff happened. Okay.
You occupy a lot of places.
Lots of stuff went down. You put a ball base here and there. Make sure things, go.
yeah. Make sure things go the way you want them to.
Make sure things go the way you want it to.
I wonder why the US has bases everywhere.
Yeah, just don't worry about it, okay? Cyprus, mind your own fucking business. Next one.
We're in their business.
Russia. Russia have asked, why did Britain leave the EU? Simple answer.
The country was lied to?
No.
I mean, that's part of it.
No, there's a simpler answer, okay? They wanted to regulate our pork pies, okay? They said...
They want to regulate our rivers.
Yeah, they said you're not allowed to shit in the rivers. And we said, we have a proud history.
We would love to shit in the river.
We have a proud history of shitting in the river, so we left, okay?
You ever heard of the Victorian era? Idiot.
Okay, now they've used a picture of David Cameron under this one.
Oh, God.
And this is asked by Germany. Hello,
okay.
Germany, how you doing?
Hello, Azarami.
Why are the British ugly?
Whoa! Azarami, why would you say that about me?
I have a fucking cracker of a retort to this.
Okay.
That's because all of the traditionally beautiful people that you see in Hollywood are British people putting on American accents.
True.
Okay? You go look it up. You go look up your favourite attractive...
They're all British and fucking Welsh.
Yeah, go look up your favourite attractive actor and you'll be like, oh shit, actually they're just British putting on an American accent. That's the thing, right? Everybody thinks that this country is goddamn hideous.
Say English and Welsh, sorry, to the Welsh.
Yeah, that's better. We're all
sorry, I was sipping my McDonald's Coke.
Because our attractive people are masquerading as Americans to take their money. Which, to be fair, quite reasonable when you think about it. What are you doing now? Oh, you're preparing the tea.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say that every country has its fair share of ugly people.
Yeah.
There are a tremendous amount of ugly British people. I've seen them. But we've also been on holiday to a fair few places where I'd say there are some hideous people.
I think there's just hideous people everywhere.
There's hideous people everywhere.
There's also just normal people everywhere.
That's the thing.
I think most people are just kind of average.
I think a lot of people are average.
Yeah.
I think as a world, we're just very average.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's fine. It's because, you know what they see? They see, the stereotypical gammons. Or like, you know, the memes about how we've got no teeth and shit like that.
It's the problem. The ones that get into the media are either pretending to be American or hideous.
Or Benefit Street, you know, that stuff.
Speaking of which, our good friends in France.
Oh, good.
Why do the British drink so much?
Honestly, poverty.
We've got a binge drinking culture here.
People have nothing better to do.
We drink a lot. We're in like the top 8 or something like that, like top 7.
We drink a lot.
We drink a lot.
Well, the thing is, jokes aside, it's part of British culture.
Yeah, it is.
To drink, for better or for worse. Like, my grandparents have a bottle of wine every night.
Yeah.
Every night, without fail. And that's like just what they do. That's what they've always done since, I think, like, they had kids.
Everybody drinks far too much. Like, our good friend, who will remain nameless, he was talking about this the other day, where he was like, I went to a wedding this weekend, and, you know, obviously it's a wedding, it's an open bar, everybody got blasted. Then the weekend before, he's like, I went and saw my girlfriend, and we went to this restaurant and got drinks there. And then he's like, the weekend before that, it was this person's birthday, and then it was a stag do, and blah, 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 blah. Every social occasion, big social occasion in the UK,
you drink.
Is generally underlined by drinking, right?
Yeah. Like, and a lot of, like, social stuff. Like, for our group of friends, it doesn't have to be drinking. We have, like, hobbies we do together, but we'll often have a drink with those hobbies.
Right, yeah.
But we only drink when our friends are over.
I need to also make a counterpoint here.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily in our defence, because whatever, country drinks, whatever.
We drink.
I think every country drinks a lot.
Oh, we should have turned this on, actually.
You should have, yeah, it's getting very dark.
Yeah.
I think a lot of countries drink a lot, especially across Europe. It just seems like it's quite,
It's just quite normal.
It's quite normal, yeah, because there are no religious restrictions on drinking over here, unlike certain other parts of the world, so people just
and then
go butt
America's kind of weird.
America's weird.
America's kind of weird on that with the whole prohibition thing and how that has affected how drinking works there.
Spain asks, I'm calling you out here, Spain, why do Brits have bad teeth? Well, Spain, how about you ask that fucking question when you're in the top 5 countries in the world with the best teeth? Huh? Motherfuckers, I'm calling you out.
We've got good dentistry.
I hate this fucking rumour, okay? I went to the dentist the other day, you know what they said? Absolutely fine, come back in 6 months.
Yeah,
that's what they
and
said.
they've done that the last 2 times.
Yes, our teeth are fine. We have a very good standard of dental care. You, Spain, have started believing America's lies, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
It's because we don't, you know, give every fucker braces that's ever lived, you know, and we don't routinely whiten teeth.
Braces are also free.
They are free here,
They're
but
free
like
in the
they're
UK.
free to people that need them. Is the point?
Yeah.
Like if you've got a bit of a snaggle tooth, they're just not going to bother.
If you're an older person, I think so you're above the age of 18 and you just have like wonky teeth, they or otherwise healthy, they're not gonna. You can get braces, sure, but you got to pay for them. They're not monstrously expensive or anything like that.
They just don't like give braces to people that don't.
It's America,
particularly
bro.
need
It's
them.
American propaganda.
Also, we don't fill our water with fluoride.
That's true.
Like American teeth, even if you don't brush your teeth in America, most of the time your teeth will stay white because there's so much fluoride in their water.
That's crazy, bro.
It's pretty nuts.
So anyway, I'm blaming Spain for an ignorant question there.
How dare you racists?
Luxembourg.
Okay.
Why do Britain... I'm reading this verbatim.
Okay.
Why do Britain not have a constitution? We kind of do.
Yeah, it's just not the same as an American.
The Magna Carta.
It's not called a constitution.
Right, it's a bill of rights, effectively.
We just don't call it the Constitution.
Yeah. I mean, bearing in mind, until a few years ago, Britain grabbed all of its stuff from the EU anyway, right?
Yeah.
And even when Brexit happened, we had to take with us EU laws for X amount of time, and the Bill of Human Rights, and you got like the United Nations enforcing everything anyway, so it didn't really matter. But we had like the OG Constitution in the form of the Magna Carta.
Yeah, like the thing is that when you think of us, like, because I guess we're kind of compared against America in a lot of ways.
I wonder what they meant by that. I'm going to look that up.
Like,
'cause I'm not
specifically the US, but like they've got such a culture that revolves around
how great America is.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Like their constitution is like a huge deal to
I mean,
them.
I looked it up and it just says Parliament UK, the UK Constitution is 20 pages, so...
Must have like...
Constitution of the United Kingdom recognises principles that guide the Constitution, including parliamentary sovereignty, the rule of law, democracy, and upholding. So we do have a constitution. I think every country's got one, right?
We probably got like a just one that we don't care as much about, you know, in day-to-day life, unlike the Americans.
Yeah, it doesn't do our day-to-day stuff. Oh, a nice one! Thank fucking God! At long last, somebody's asked a nice thing.
Which legendary country was this?
Now here's the thing. They're asking a nice thing, but I actually disagree with it.
Okay.
Why are the British so polite?
Which country?
The Netherlands.
I knew it was the Dutch. Fucking legends.
Alright, here's the problem though. This is the Netherlands not understanding British culture. British people aren't polite.
we're reserved.
Yes, correct. The British people are not polite. They say what they want to make things the path of least resistance.
Like, I think that for our culture especially, like, because somebody heard me say this and they're like, oh, my friend's English and they're really loud. And it's like, no. Being reserved in public is not the same as being loud in your group of friends. Our group of friends can get pretty fucking rowdy.
Yeah.
You know, my personality isn't exactly like, you know, muted. However, if I'm out in public, I'm not talking to fucking anyone.
I've heard this.
It's just different.
From, like, Australians as well, where you are, like, polite to strangers and then rude to your mates.
Yes, that's definitely the word.
You treat them like shit. It's the banter thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think I think a lot of that is because you know that you are free to say and act however you like around your friends because you're friends, and in theory it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's just a rather freeing social dynamic to have. But
Well,
I don't
I
think
would-
British people are polite.
I would argue, especially old people, they are brought up with, in quotation marks, like, manners.
Manners.
The way that they're supposed to act. However, they are fucking rude. They are horrible to
They
service
are
staff.
rigid to like a really inflexible degree, in that if they also don't get what they expect to be manners
They
and
are
politeness,
awful.
they will flip and
They
just
are
be
vile. Like,
old people are awful.
young people are usually very kind, you know, in that sort of setting.
Yeah.
You know, and especially like when you get like, how do I get this? Like the sweet spot between when teenagers are assholes and teenagers start to like, you know, realize they have to be nice to survive in the world.
Yeah.
You know, those sorts of teens are like great. They're always really nice. They just want to be able to eat their meal, you know, that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's difficult to say. We're not more polite than anyone else. You know, as much as I hate the Japan worship, their culture's more, in quotation marks, polite.
That's polite to a fault, though. Isn't
Yeah, than ours. You know, that's why people from here get on okay in Japan from the manners standpoint, because we just don't talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We just keep to ourselves. We don't talk. We're fine.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Poland.
Yep.
Poland themselves ask, why do Britain like to drink tea?
That's part of our culture.
It's just
If you go to a place, often you'll get offered a cup of tea.
yes.
Yeah, just drink.
It's just what we do here.
Yeah. I watched an old video. This is from like World War II, I think, and it was an American video to their army explaining how the British army works. And one of the things they said in there is that like the rations that the army got was like they got a whole thing of tea.
Yeah.
And they were like, to a British infantryman, their tea is as important as coffee is to an American. And I was just like, okay, apparently this is just a thing.
Yeah.
Like that has gone back a long time.
It's just a
where
cultural
it's just
zeitgeist
mattered.
where
It's mattered to people.
If you're raised on that type of thing, then you're going to do it, and then the next generation is of course going to follow on, etc. It's just how culture go. So you know what? I'm calling out Poland for being ignorant as well. Hey, Poland, here's a question. What the hell's toast bread? Go look in a mirror, Stinky. Belgian asks, why does Britain drive on the left?
Just do.
Yeah, I don't drive, so I have no horse in this race.
Just do.
But if I did have a horse in this race, it would drive on the left.
I find that the American, not like the side of the road they drive on, I don't give a shit about that, but like their system is better in our way than ours in some ways. Like if there's no cars coming at certain like points, I think it's like at a stop sign, you can just go. But we can't in certain scenarios.
Yeah, America, you also can't cross.
You know, like when there's red lights and things.
You also can't cross the road on foot.
You can't
get in
walk.
trouble for it.
You can't walk in the US.
I can't speak to any sort of driving. We are in the minority in that one. It's not like America where like, whoa, they use the metric system, where it's just America that does that, or like Fahrenheit. We're in the minority in that. I think it's only like the UK and India and Australia, like ex-colonial nations.
Yeah,
that...
a lot of the ex-colonial areas. We just do that. There's probably a reason. Google it.
Sweden. Is the United Kingdom one country?
No.
Technically, it's a sovereign constituency made up of 4 different countries.
Yes.
Northern Ireland. Oh, did it say Britain? Sorry, or did it say no? They're saying the United Kingdom. Mm-hmm. United Kingdom is Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and
England.
Yeah.
So it's just 4 different countries.
And technically, like the Isle of Man and blah blah blah.
Yes.
All the minor ones. Britain is Scotland, Ireland, Wales. Britain is a
the island.
Geographical island. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. It's very straightforward. Austria. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Why are the British so Eurosceptic? Are we Eurosceptic? I wouldn't say we're Eurosceptic.
I don't think the average person even would consider themselves that at all.
I don't think the average person considers Europe. We're quite isolated.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. Like, so some people do consider themselves European within this country, but most people would probably consider themselves just British or English or whichever country they're in, right?
Historically, linguistically, sure, we're European, but I think there's such a divide, just a geographical divide.
Yeah, literally, like the rest of Europe's kind of attached, more or less.
Yeah, that we just don't really consider it. I think it's just not even
To an average British person, it's not skepticism. They just don't think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever would. You know, it only came up because of Brexit.
And even then, Brexit was 51-49.
Yeah,
so
and it wasn't about not being European, Brexit. That wasn't what it was. Like, it's not Euroscepticism that led Brexit.
Of course, the Austrians would be asking why people don't want Europe under one banner. Classic Austrian behaviour, that is, right
God
there.
damn Austria, what the fuck?
Denmark is asking,
Yeah.
why is the British monarch head of state? Purely ceremonial at this point. I mean, it's literally not. The king does get, like, to veto, but if he did...
He never would.
He never would, and I don't think ever has.
No.
Bear in mind, it has to go through 2 chambers of parliament first, then up to the king to basically just say yes, and that's it.
It's just to have a reason for the royal family to be around and be paid for by the government.
Right, well, yeah. I was reading about Republican sentiment in the United Kingdom, as in abolish the monarchy and become a Republican Senate, a self-led people. And the Republican sentiment has absolutely spiked since Lizzie dropped off, which everybody expected anyway, because Charles is, you know...
Like, it was expecting this country, and not to mention the other areas where their head of, like, their monarch, I guess, is ours. People don't particularly like the royal family.
People like William, though, so I think it'll probably come back when he comes in. People love... This has been the playbook, right? This has been the royal playbook where William and Kate are like the...
They're probably praying that Charles dies. He might
honestly,
abdicate, to be fair.
Yeah, he probably will. He's old as fuck. He's old and he's rickety. Okay, Finland.
Yep.
Why does Britain want to be independent? Britain doesn't want to be anything. Britain's an island. You'd think you mean the United Kingdom. Why does the United Kingdom want to be independent? You'd have to ask the people who are quite impassioned about that type of thing.
There were a lot of reasons why people voted for it. None of them, like, none of the ones that I heard people really excited about, except for, like, the crazy people. Like, people, because there must have been normal people. Like, there were normal people that voted. And a lot of the spin that the UKIP used was, like, more money for the NHS, more money for things that people care about.
Right.
Because, you know, people wanted to believe it, you know?
The lunatics did it to shut down the borders and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But then the average person who didn't really care either way were probably swayed by... it could be potentially good for us.
Like, if we regulate ourselves, we could technically make things better, but
Nobody
then...
wants the status quo,
But then it was the Tories that controlled it.
It's always... the grass is always greener. It's the same with every general election, where it goes one party, then the other. Presumably we're ever allowed one of those again. It'll flip back to Labour.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, the writing's on the wall, and that's just how it be. That's just how it be. The grass is always greener,
Again,
Finland.
I don't really think that it was... it's not anti-European sentiment. It's so within its own thing.
I was getting ready to lay into them then.
Go on, you...
The grass is always greener, Finland. Not that you know anything about that, you
Oh, yeah!
cold, wet,
Idiots.
dark
Woo!
wasteland of a country.
UK!
I kind of wish I'd have dragged on all these countries. Instead, I've just picked out a few like Poland and
Just
Spain.
specifically Finland, Spain, and Poland.
I've got to admit, this next question is very, very generous considering some of the stuff they could have asked. Like, for example, why don't you fuck off? Ireland have asked, the country of Ireland, the Republic of, have asked, why are Brits so negative?
What's there to be positive about?
That's it. That's all you need to say on that question. It's again that countrywide kind of...
We're not a very hopeful place anymore, really. And
you're positive around people. You're not even positive. You are more emotionally available to people that you are close to and friendly with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say positive.
We like to whine as well as a nation.
Yeah, it's a national pastime.
But like, yeah, the positivity is more from small things, because honestly, I don't think anywhere has hope. Especially now. But like globally, it just doesn't feel like there's much hope.
And anyway, if you don't like us being negative...
fuck off.
Yeah, I haven't got anything to dunk on Ireland about, to be honest.
Yeah, idiots.
Norway. Why are the British building factories? Because we Brexited and now we've got to do something.
I mean, we build factories a lot.
I think we should reopen the mines.
Oh, yeah. And then we can bring Margaret back from the grave.
Yeah.
We can put her on a spike.
Because now we don't have to adhere to... this is a sensible assumption, I think. We don't have to adhere to EU standards anymore, so we can open, corner-cutting factories and undercut the Eurozone market. Yeah.
In general, I assume it's just a question about factories. I think everywhere builds factories.
Everywhere builds factories.
Everywhere builds factories.
Maybe I've got a question for you, Norway. Why aren't you building factories, you oil-stealing, fish-munching, mountain-dwelling fucks? USA.
Wow!
Why are Brits so good at waiting?
Waiting? You're not. You're the worst Brit at waiting.
Yeah,
He's the most impatient
I value
man.
my time more than... Anyway, that's rich coming from Americans. Have you seen Disneyland?
No, but Americans are like... they complain a lot about that sort of stuff.
They're not good at waiting, but they're more willing to wait. We're talking about people who are like, yeah, I'm going to go see my family for Thanksgiving. It's just a 15-hour drive. And I'm like, bro, that's not worth it. I'm not seeing anybody if it's more than a 30-minute drive.
I would argue that we're better than America at waiting because we are, again, reserved. We'll be pissed off about it, but quiet.
Quietly, yeah.
Americans are so loud.
Quietly see them.
I'll never get over the time that I was waiting in line in Universal for that Popeye ride, like the water ride, and all the queue, because they were trying to entertain themselves, was screaming. And I was just like, why? Just shut the fuck up. I wish I had like AirPods or something, like so I could just shut out.
AirPods in, you can't hear the Popeye
You can't
ride.
hear the Popeye ride. Because all the Americans were literally screaming.
Okay. Why do Brits love the monarchy?
We don't.
Asks Mexico. And the simple answer is, we don't.
Some Brits really love the monarchy.
Some Brits are weird.
But like the average person either doesn't care or there's another group of people that really hate them. And there's people like us. I don't think that either of us have like this hate to the point that we want to firebomb the king. However, we don't need them to be head of state. We just don't need them. We don't need to pay for them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, what am I going to say about Mexico? Hey, fuck off. Right. Indonesia asks, why did the British colonize the land of Malay? And I'll be honest.
They colonized a lot of places.
Yeah. If it was there and had something that the crown wanted and there was no flag there already.
Even if there wasn't something that the crown wanted, it was more of a show of power than anything else to an extent once we'd had enough resources. Like, we wanted everything. Yeah. Because other places couldn't have it. It was like FOMO.
Operation It was a loss just to
prove that we could
glory.
Do it,
it's vain
I guess.
Glory.
I mean, obviously we also stripped every resource we could. However, like a lot of it was just taking areas that we didn't need to have them.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon.
Just like Pokemon.
Except nations.
Except much, much more fucked up.
How's the tea doing?
Mine's alright.
What's yours?
I've got New York.
I got Melbourne.
I don't know how this screams you New York. It's pretty floral. It's like fragrant. It's nice. It's a nice tea.
This one's quite fragrant.
This one's a really good tea, but it's like, I don't know what's about it is New York. Why isn't there a whole pizza in there?
Is that what they do in New York?
New York have the New York slice.
I know.
You know about pizza?
I know.
You know about pizza and bagel?
What else do they do in New York?
Spider-Man.
Tim's. And puffer jackets? That's like New York, right?
I think that's a lot of places.
Yeah.
People wear that.
I've got a puffer jacket.
Yeah, you do.
Anyway, Portugal. Ignorant Portugal. Why are the British so pale? Have you ever been here?
It's not very sunny.
We get less average sunlight hours than Finland.
Wow.
I didn't just have a go at them for being dark and wet and cold, I admit. But we have like an incredibly low amount of sunlight hours relative to even like Sweden is brighter than the UK on average. We're not as cold.
If you like come here during the summer, people be more tanned, especially now global warming's really, really kicking in.
When it's 45 degrees for about 3 days and everyone's salty.
Nobody's able to go outside then, so you can't even get a tan. But yeah, we're pale because there isn't that much sun.
Not that much sun. Yeah.
You feel?
That's it. So maybe you should stick to your...
Being a hat of Spain, Portugal.
Wow.
It's the mouth of Spain, really, the face of Spain.
It's like
because Spain's the hat.
It's like the arse cheek of Spain,
the arse cheek of Spain.
The Portugal being the face of Spain is a brave.
Well, you know what I mean, like the shape
I
of
know
the
what you
countries.
mean.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying.
like Spain itself. When you
Spain is a
consider the whole
hat.
peninsula, like the whole of Iberia, Spain is like the Elvis Quiff, of Portugal.
I'm trying to think of what Catalonia is shaped like, because we could have 3 different shapes then.
Catalonia is part of Spain though.
Yeah, but it's a big region,
Yeah.
It's got its own shape.
France is like the conjoined twin on the top of Spain's back of Spain's head that you wear
France
a
is the
turban
mutation.
over, and then you take it off.
And then you try and kill Harry Potter.
That's exactly where I was going with that. Thank you. Right, New Zealand. Why are the British called Poms? Do you know this?
No.
Because the same reason Americans call us limeys. Because we once ate fruit and now we eat beige.
Oh.
Thanks for asking, New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
You beautiful country.
I was going to say the shortened version country, but I can't.
You have a nice country with hobbits in it.
Yeah, you're all hobbits.
Yeah.
That's what they like to hear.
Yeah, you Middle-earth dwellers. Canada. Why are Brits so miserable?
See above.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's there
Literally
to be
see above,
happy
because it's
about?
directly below Ireland.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there was there to be happy about.
Why are Brits so miserable? I wouldn't say we're miserable. I'd say that we're cynical.
Yes, you know what? We're a very cynical nation.
I wouldn't say that we're miserable.
Like, with relatively, like, we've got a good standard of living as a country, with this privilege there. However, we're all fucked. So.
Speaking of which, Australia.
Yep.
Once my good friends Australia, now mortal enemies.
Mortal enemies,
This tea
Australia.
tastes like shit. Melbourne breakfast. What's that? At Foster's. Why is Britain no longer a superpower? Brexit. There you go.
There's a lot of reasons.
It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
We kind of stopped being a superpower after the Second World War.
Yeah.
It's been a lot better.
Thailand. They're in a lot of trouble. Why is British food so bad? The same reason why people think British people are ugly. You only hear about the bad stuff.
You only hear about jellied eels, and that's it,
And you know what pea wet is?
I don't think we can say that on the internet.
You know what pea wet is? It's not like a sex video. It's a thing in Wigan. They have something called a Wigan kebab, right?
Okay.
They take a cheap poker pie, like a cheap meat pie, right? They put it between 2 bits of plain white bread, and then they pour the juice from mashed peas. Was it mushy peas? Like the green, and they pour it over the top.
That is fucking
Wigan
vile.
kebab pea wet. That's what it is.
Like, the thing is, I think I could eat it and it'd be okay. I don't think
This
I
is the
would
difference
call
between you
it.
and me. I could not eat that.
You do like pie though, or mushy peas.
Britain's very good at doing.
We're really good at dessert.
I was going to say desserts are like pretty.
We make really good dessert. We make good cheese.
Biscuits, cheese.
We've got good savoury dishes too. It's just that people associate us with like shit stuff.
Oh, none of our
know?
food has any colour.
Well, that's the point.
I know I'm
though.
leaning into the stereotype
it's,
here.
It's
but-
hard to, like, if you go for dishes that come from where we're from, like, there's not that huge amount of Mediterranean fruits and vegetables that we can grow in the UK.
It's an island
kinda
of
got,
sadness and rain.
Peas and carrots and things like that.
Potato.
But that's what grows well here. So that's why it's in a lot of our dishes.
And you can't really grow much spice. Oh, you stole spice from all over the world and didn't use it. Yeah, that was the rich people. It was the rich people. You think Prince Charles was over there making bloody Wigan kebab pea wet? You idiot. They were stealing the spices and then selling it to other people or hoarding it for the rich. Unbelievable behaviour. Who asked that? Thailand.
Fuck you, Thailand.
Fuck you, Thailand. Go back to your... I couldn't even name anything Thailand does because you're so
I could name some
insignificant.
Thailand things.
Chicken satay. Ooh, I do like chicken. Okay, I'll let you off.
They use a lot of coconut in their food.
Turkey
good.
asks, why are the British so cold? No, I'm not sure if they mean in terms of weather or in terms of like
I'd
emotion.
imagine emotionally.
So we've already answered this question 3 other times.
Yeah.
We're just a cynical, dour, sad, angry nation. A little angry nation.
To be fair, I will give people this. Like, if you go into a pub, like, you will probably meet some people that'll be very happy to hang out with you.
Cheering and jeering and drunk. Or if you go into a pub wearing the wrong type of football t-shirt,
Fucking hell.
you will get killed. So, I mean, it's 50-50, isn't it, really?
I mean, like, as a woman that has been out clubbing in the UK, you know, if you go into a women's toilets in a club, that is the most positive place in the world.
I mean, just nights out in general, you meet a lot of people. Like, the amount of, like, I
think that may be why people drink a lot as well.
When I befriended that Navy bloke, you remember? And he bought
everyone a drink.
Everyone at your party drinks. There was like a dozen of us.
Yeah, he bought everyone a drink.
He was a good guy. And then the last time we went out, and we met those people in that bar, and they were chatting about cyberpunk.
They were talking about the anime, yeah.
Yeah, and that one guy was like so passionate about it.
Like he was arguing, like, because he was talking to you about anime, right, and Paul.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not.
And I was the person at the table that probably knew the most about anime, and I was like not interfacing with the conversation.
They were just like into it, and they were taking pictures with Paul, and I was like.
And we had the worst drinks of my life.
Oh god.
That place made bad drinks.
That was that rum and coke, and it tasted like shit.
It tasted wrong. I had to have whiskey and coke because the rum and coke was like wrong.
It was
vile.
Oh god, that was.
I don't like whiskey and coke, but it was better.
Yeah, but that's a dive bar though, isn't it? That place.
It was vile, bro.
It was better when it was, you know, like the older theme. Why Italy? Come on, this is just ignorant. Why is the UK called Great Britain in the Olympics? Because we're great.
We're so
I actually don't know why we're called Great Britain and not the.
We've just got a lot of names.
Why we called that not the United Kingdom? Because surely that means people from Northern Ireland aren't allowed to contribute.
I mean,
Just seems like an oversight. Probably because is UK is probably Ukraine on the bibs. So I wonder if we have GB instead.
Yeah.
Because there aren't any other places fighting for GB.
That would make sense.
That's my guess. That's my guess anyway. And there you are. That's all the questions on the thing. I'm surprised that. Man, there was a lot of Europe on there, huh?
Yeah. Americans don't because I think that most of the world besides Europe probably doesn't care all that much about us except for maybe hating us.
They covered the stereotypes, I suppose, the teeth and the food.
Yeah.
But other than that, what would you ask about a country if you could? Maybe someone in the comments could answer it.
I don't know. Are you putting me on the spot?
I am putting you on the spot.
I mean, people in the comments, you can ask about England if you want. We keep ask about the whole country, but
yeah, I can't answer.
I can't answer much about Scotland or Wales. Besides the stuff I've talked to with like Scottish people and Welsh people, there's a lot of I have a lot of conversations with Welsh people about the overlap between the North and Wales.
It's a shithole. Don't come here.
There is a Reddit thread.
Okay.
That we were on.
Right.
This is in the Elise and Sam
In.
channel. It was like, what is the most undervalued aspect of life in the UK?
Oh, we're going to follow up with something positive now.
Let's go for something positive.
I love this. This is a great suggestion.
Yeah, so the person who wrote it said, for me, it would be the quality and safety of driving. The UK is the lowest 3 countries for road fatalities in the world.
Yeah, we do have well, okay. There's a few reasons for that. Number 1, we don't have crazy massive cars like in the US. We also don't have the roads or infrastructure to be going 500 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, to be fair, in Germany, I think there's no speed limit in their motorways, and their motorways are very, very safe.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But let's put it this way: I've known a lot of European people say that they don't like driving here because there's too many rules. That it's too annoying. You can't do anything because you will get pulled over here. But I've been driven around in Greece.
Everywhere, yeah,
and if you're in the driving is insane.
The Mediterranean in particular. We've been to Spain, insanity
nuts.
people. We've been to Italy, insanity people, and we've been to Greece, insanity people. I went to Rome when I was younger, and they are fucking batshit. They are insane. They have no total disregard for human life. It's just put down. I've got a place to go, and I'm fucking going there, and I don't care who's in my way.
And you look at countries where there's 8 billion mopeds like India, and it's even watching everybody driving around. It's like a free for all. Yeah, that's not what we have here. You've kind of everybody, even shit drivers. There's a lot of shit drivers here, there is everywhere. But rarely do you see a shit driver so shit that you're gonna die. You know, while I feel like I'm gonna die whenever I'm on a road in another country.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. We're pretty safe here with that. That's true. This Reddit person is correct.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. 1-0 to us. moving on.
Oh, interesting. So this one's how online the government is. Yes, there are issues, but the fact that a whole range of government services have online portals.
You can just like renew your passport. Online.
Yes, apparently that's not a common thing in Europe. Somebody said like even in some places in Europe, you have to do it all by paper.
It's a little bit. Okay, so it's a double-edged sword because obviously you're opening yourself up to identity theft.
And also, a lot of these government things will feel like they're taken straight from the early 2000s. Like the websites have not been updated. But that's
why they don't update them, because they work.
Yeah, it's true.
Once if you go to a hospital, you probably have a heart attack for the amount of machines that run on Windows 98. It's just when it works, there's no need to change it unless there is like a critical error. And to be fair, there's a lot of shit that the government, even local governments like our council or whatever.
Well, we can check our bin collection day online whenever we want.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
load up a web page and you can pay all your bills normal. And you can just do everything.
You can do your council tax online, everything.
But if you're an older person,
it can be confusing.
Well, there's no physical person to speak to.
Not anymore.
Like, if you go to the council offices, I want to do this, and they'll say, go online.
Well, that's the thing, so with this, that's the same with banking.
I was about to say it's the bank issue, isn't it? Because all the branches are closing.
Every branch seems to be closing now. Yeah. And genuinely, I don't watch much television, but I saw an ad the other day on TV. I think it was like NatWest or one of those banks, and not Spawn.
They're like, we're opening branches.
We're keeping our branches open because it will be appealing to old people who just don't know how to navigate online.
Whereas conversely, the only time I've gone to a bank branch in the last 5 years was to buy a house.
I have to go in because I need to put in the checks my grandma sends because she doesn't understand online banking.
And to be fair, we didn't even need to go in for the house thing.
That's true.
Because when we went in, they were like, just do it online.
We had to go in once, actually. We had to go in once to get our ISA.
Oh.
First time buyer's ISA.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And we had to go in because apparently they have to just do it on pen and paper. Like, she had to get a calculator out to do the ISA.
Yeah.
Well, most ISA stuff is done on the computer. This woman had to do actual maths, and she found it very fun.
So I get it. I get why they don't keep branches open when there's like our generation going in once every 5 years.
Yeah, it's rare that we as a generation need to go in. You know
what? Credit to the government. Okay, fair enough. Online government, I can't fault it.
Oh yeah, turning on a tap for safe water must never be undervalued. True.
Yeah, you can drink from every tap.
We can just drink for
everywhere.
any tap. Yeah.
Even public taps.
Yeah.
I would not.
I wouldn't necessarily, but
someone might have smeared shit on it or whatever.
But the water itself is not at fault for that.
Yeah.
The climate and lack of natural disasters. So true, King. I agree.
Yeah, we don't get hurricanes, we don't get earthquakes, we get tremors just from
Yes, I've not
fracking.
I've never noticed an earthquake, but I have been alive during earthquakes.
Yeah, we don't get anything.
I fell asleep and just slept through a whole earthquake once.
You know when you're a kid and you watch a bunch of American shows and then you're worried about earthquakes, volcanoes, and more importantly, quicksand? We've not got anything. And that's another thing, kind of following up to that. There's no natural predators in the UK. No animals in the UK can harm you. They've reintroduced wolves into some national parks to help control the deer population.
Yeah, we got a lot of deer.
We got muntjac.
They're so
which exists in literally South Asia and then the UK. Southeast UK, because they introduced them and they all got loose. They're fucking weird though. They've got eyelids on their nose that open and close. They're like aliens.
They're so cool. I love their nose.
Weird little fellas.
Yeah, I think that's a true one. I agree with that.
So we've got no insects, no snakes.
Not really. Not dangerous.
Yeah, we've obviously got insects and snakes, but none that harm us. You get false widows, which can leave a nasty bite, but that's
it. Yeah. We're pretty lucky for that aspect of our we're just safe. The only thing is that we've got now extremely hot summers and no aircon. But that's a price to pay for not dying in a hurricane. So I'm not going to be mad.
Fair point. I like it. That's good positivity.
Okay, so this is difficult. The quality of domestically produced arts and entertainment, anything from theatre to music to stand-up comedy to film and television, we're spoiled in this country in these elements.
I do agree. We export a lot of comedy.
I think still that our comedy is the best in the world.
Yeah.
I still think that. I've watched American comedians very rarely hit for me though. Those TikToks of them doing their thing, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm not.
It doesn't hit. It's a cultural thing, We're cynical, and our humor is cynical, and it always hits for me when you got that right sort of level of cynicism in your jokes.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But also, I wish that we had more of a France approach to our theatre and art scene,
where it's
because
preservation at all costs.
They care about it. Our government does not.
And their language as well. the French are monstrously protective over their language in that words have to basically be approved by a board, and 90% of the time they reject them. They very, very rarely allow like loan words from English. They will invent their own because they are that hyper protective over.
But we had Belfie put in the dictionary because it's a butt selfie.
Is that what that is?
It's a Belfie.
That's the thing about English, is like we're okay to just throw in whatever words we want.
I don't mind the language evolving and having a lot of words,
Yeah,
but like
it should.
stuff like Belfie,
It should.
like things like that, I don't think have the longevity to be counted as words.
Yeah, but the dictionary always puts in a word of the year, which is just like a throwaway thing. Like selfie, okay, fair enough. That was obviously
that's gonna stay.
Emoji got added, but that's like actual terminology, useful terminology.
Yes.
But they do occasionally the meme one and.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't like. How would we define the word chungus? Because that was a meme for a while. You know, stuff like that. It just
Chuggy.
doesn't. Chuggy, that's not a real one.
Is chuggy not a real word?
No.
I bet it's in the dictionary.
Somebody said National Trust parks. I agree. National
Yeah.
Trust is pretty cool. For people who don't know, it's basically like
The UK government run, publicly funded program to maintain
like stately houses,
historically significant buildings
and like
places.
Yeah, like a lot of. I guess, how do I put this, like, beautiful gardened, forested areas, things like that.
Yeah.
Things that are protected, you know? Stately houses are obviously my favourite, but I'm a historian.
Well, even then, like, National Trust protects, like, even things like, what's it called in York? The cobbled streets?
Oh, the shambles?
The shambles, yeah. They'll protect stuff like that, too, even though it's, like, it's a street, effectively.
Yeah, but it's a very cool street.
Like, old houses as well, and
they don't do everything. Like, there'll be local stuff as well. There's a lot of ways that we protect, usually genuinely through the National Lottery Heritage Fund.
To be fair, though,
people will protect buildings and maintain.
you gotta do it for the tourism money.
Well,
Because that's all we've got.
Well, that's why generally the Lottery Heritage Fund is so important to keeping
How
a British
monstrously
history
British
alive.
is that we're able to maintain our
lottery.
country through gambling.
Yeah.
Because if you've not been to a British high street in the last 10 years, every shop is a gambling shop. Every
or a
advert,
vape shop.
Right. It's Turkish barbers, it's American sweet shops, it's vape shops, or it's gambling.
Yeah.
Every advert on TV is gambling, whether it's Gala Bingo, Foxy Bingo, Ladbrokes, blah, blah, you name it, or the whole gamut of gambling. It's monstrous.
Yeah.
This country is just like,
We're just sad.
we're looking for a cheap thrill anywhere we can get it. And they ban smoking now, too.
Well, if people are born after a certain year, they can't smoke.
I think it's like, if you're born after 2005, you can't buy cigarettes or something like that, or 2011 or whatever. It's some arbitrary year. So
now they're all just going to vape like they already are doing.
yeah, so they're just going to, yeah,
know.
right.
So-
Vaping's not licensed. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Anywhere can sell vapes.
Oh.
Which is probably why there's so many vape shops on high streets. It's not like alcohol, where you have to have...
Yeah, you have to have an
ID or
alcohol
blah, blah,
license,
blah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that's weird.
yeah.
Okay. Not true in every location, but I live in a large town. However, 5-minute drive in any direction from my house, you will see countryside. You know what? That's even true
Here. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of out in the sticks anyway, we are here.
But even if we were in the middle of the city that we are close to, you could probably drive maybe 10 minutes and be out in
You could drive 5
country.
minutes in a direction and find something.
Yeah. I mean, there
naturous.
are multiple parks and things like that, but
Sorry,
like...
my ear's ringing, hang on.
Sam's ear is bad. Is it your deaf ear?
Yeah, it's ringing like crazy, bro.
Yeah. But yes, I agree. We unless you're like in the middle of London or something, like I think most places you've got access, provided you can drive, to get to the countryside. That's the caveat though. You need to be able to drive.
I
Unless
wouldn't
you
live in the
already live in the
countryside.
country.
Speaking from 20 years of experience, it's tremendously boring.
I'd
there.
live in the countryside if I had a car and was close enough to civilization that I could, go into town, quickly.
Living in like a town with no supermarket or no shops besides antique shops and charity shops is not...
Your area was full of tourists, though. You lived in like a tourist countryside town. Like it was like a yellow brick sort of place.
Yeah.
Very, very nice to live in, like to look at.
Nice aesthetically,
Yes,
not
practically. It was boring. Right. How much vegetarianism and veganism has it been embraced by high streets and supermarkets?
Yeah, that's true.
In Australia, I felt like a burden or odd one out as a veggie.
Everywhere has. vegan options here.
Yeah.
McDonald's, KFC, you name it. You go into any chain.
Most restaurants, yeah. Will have something.
Anywhere, and they'll have something for you. Yeah, for sure.
We're very good at that. Apparently, it's really difficult. Like, again, I'm only speaking about places that I know people that live in there. Like, it's really difficult in Japan to find, like, vegan food in supermarkets. Like, you can... Or like inside in restaurants, because a lot of them have like fish stock in there and stuff like that that you can't see.
Or like,
so it might be tofu, but it'll have fish stock inside the broth.
Even then, just like same cooking utensils is enough to put some vegans off.
Yeah, that's true. Like our friend who you can't have anything near his food.
Cheese in the same house, you might as well.
He vomits.
Yeah, you might as well burn that house down.
Yeah. Honestly, how safe you are walking alone. I moved back to the UK this year from California, and I would try and go for a solo run. There'd be meth heads wandering out of the bushes, groaning and shouting like zombies. I feel innately safer in the UK.
It's quite safe, yeah.
We are a safe country.
I wouldn't go for like a midnight run in the middle of London.
I personally, as a lady, would not go on a night
I think I'd be
run.
robbed and they'd nick my phone or my AirPods or my whatever.
I would not go out on a run, but that is personally
You'd be
because...
fine going on a midnight run here.
If I stayed in the estate we live, yeah.
I think you could go a little bit further out and you'd be fine. The worst I think you get is some idiot in a car being like, "Oi, show us your tits off, wee."
Yeah.
One of those types.
That is one thing that's like, we have a lot of catcalling in this country.
Yeah.
I don't know how...
White van man culture.
Yeah, the thing is that like men, I'm gonna talk down to British men for a minute now.
Okay, I'm stood right here.
Yeah, it's alright. Not all men are pretty disrespectful to women.
I've never catcalled anyone.
No, you haven't.
Because I don't give a fuck.
You're not a piece of shit. But like, it's not just catcalling. Like, just general disrespect. If a woman's loud in the street, men will be arseholes. If a man's loud in the street, people don't say shit. It's like, are we really doing this? It's like. Stop the double standard.
I don't know. I'd say something if a man was being a...
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't like go up to them and be like, "Oh, excuse me, will you be quiet, please?" I'd say, "What a fucking dickhead."
Yes.
To whoever I'm walking with.
That's
but
fine.
I wouldn't go up to a woman and say, "What the fuck are you doing either?"
Well, when we were walking home from the cinema and we were all having a loud conversation, and then some people walking past us mocked me by copying what I was saying.
Yeah.
They didn't do that shit to you or any of our friends.
They might have if you weren't there. They were just going for the easy target.
Yeah. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
And the woman in the group tends to be.
Right, but if you weren't there, they'd have just gone for Tom.
I don't think they would have, though. That's kind of just normal. There's a lot of, like, that sort of,
Bring back national service.
We take an awful lot for granted. It's not just human nature. It's just not in human nature to have such a complex life. Fresh produce isn't as good in countries with warmed climates. In terms of quality of shops, range of products, ease of use, we have good supermarkets.
Actually, fair point. I was speaking to a Belgian person that we know, and they seemed quite surprised that we had strawberries just available all year round.
Oh yeah, we do.
We just have it. You can go into a shop whenever and just buy strawberries or
any fruit, more or less.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive, but yeah, because half the time, unless like they're in season, like you have to buy.
It's not monstrously expensive to say that you're getting like strawberries or mangoes for.
I mean, like when they're in season, strawberries become cheaper because they're just here.
Then you can go in the UK,
but yeah, we're always having to ship stuff in anyway, so I guess we're just used to always having it there because we have to ship it in.
Yeah,
You don't grow mangoes here. So.
Well, anyway, my mango is to blow up in the net like I don't know nobody.
I was actually talking to this with my. This is one thing I'd say. Like our takeaway here.
Takeaway as in
our takeaway food. We have options from so many different countries.
Everywhere. Yeah.
We have a ridiculous amount of options. I have a good German friend, and they can't find anything like that. Like the options they got. Now, bear in mind they live in bumfuck nowhere. However, when they go to it's true. When they go into the city, people just walking around in circles. They have a lot of trouble finding food from other countries, like restaurants that they can eat at. While if you want to have a different country every day in a week, you would easily do that here.
Easily, yeah.
And we don't live in like a big city or
like
anything like
London
that. If we were in London, you could probably go to 30,
Bruh.
No barking, mate. You could probably go to 30 different places in a row, and they all be from different countries.
You do breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a different place, yeah.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky in that respect.
Well, come up with one more, because we've only got 9 minutes left on the SD card, because somebody doesn't clear off the SD card.
Whow! Yeah, somebody just said the no deadly indigenous wildlife, which is what you said. Wildlife. Another person saying there's no guns and strict road safety. Yeah. Cheese. Cheese.
We do have a lot of cheese. We have a whole cave dedicated to cheese.
We do.
Cheddar Gorge. They put cheese in the cave, and then you can look at the cheese, and it costs you a fortune to walk through a cave and look at cheese. But it's a very British experience.
It is a British experience. You know, I'm going to call out Elmp right now, who is Dutch, I believe.
Yes.
Who was like, I only like Dutch cheese. British cheese is really bad. And you know what he had? He had supermarket from a packet cheddar.
Bruh. There is
we have so many options.
10,000 different British cheeses. If you don't like a single one of them, check your shoes.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
Like, just off the top of my head, like you got the obvious ones like cheddar and red Leicester, and then you got like Yarg, you got Wensleydale. We got like so many different types of cheese, and
double Gloucester, single Gloucester, Stinky Bishop.
Like we got so many types of cheese.
Stilton.
And I am not a big cheese eater, but even I enjoy a British cheese from time to time, you know? I just don't agree with people that are just like, oh, I only like my own country's cheese. That's a strange opinion to have.
What the fuck is there even in the Netherlands for cheese?
Apparently they must have amazing cheese.
Edam. That's Dutch, right?
I have no idea.
What else you got? Nothing in
the... No, the Dutch have no food at all, actually.
I hate all Dutch cheese.
I hate all Dutch cheese.
I haven't tried any of it, but I hate it.
I've only ever tried the plastic cheese they have in supermarkets in the Netherlands, and I think that all Dutch cheese is bad.
We can all agree American cheese is pretty terrible.
Specifically, the fucking singlet stuff. Vile.
You don't need to say
vile.
Nothing. I've got some.
Yeah, but like people in the comments are going to be like, oh, you just said this about Yarg. Like, nah, we're talking about these things.
This. Plastic individually wrapped cheese. Which is good on one thing and one thing only, smash burgers.
Yeah. I honestly, when I was a kid, I could just eat one of those. And now as an adult, I find it fucking gross. It's like vile. I don't know how to put it, but it's like sticks to your tongue in a really way. It's horrible.
Cheese shouldn't be sticky.
It's gross.
So, thanks for joining us on this exploration of British culture.
Yeah.
It was a shockingly introspective episode, to say that last episode we were talking about finger blasting ourselves in the shower. So we've really...
That was a really good episode, that last one. I really liked it.
You gotta have some good with the bad, okay? You gotta have a little serious peppered with the nonsense.
You know, I'm glad that we got a positive sort of ending, though. With, like, the good things about the country. I agree with them as well. The things that people were saying, it's true.
You know what else? Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime's pretty good.
I can decide right now at 9 p.m. I want a thing, and I will have it by tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That's good. Good postal service.
Yes, I agree. You know what? Royal Mail, as much as people like to talk shit, Royal Mail is a godsend. I appreciate it.
A lot of the time, I've ordered magic cards, right, in the last month, have been from British sellers, because normally it's like, you know, my sister's here, and I'm like, okay, I better order some cards quick. Or like, our friends are like, anybody free Sunday? And it's like Wednesday, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to order some cards fast. They are delayed, never because of Royal Mail, because the dickheads on Card Market say, yeah, I shipped it, and then they don't ship it for another week.
That's true.
It's stamped on the envelope when they send it. We know, you liar. Anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah, that was a fun episode to do, actually. I enjoyed that. Sam's doing a little dance. You can kind of see his shadow. Can you hit the griddy?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
He's going to hit the griddy. Oh, holy shit, that's the fucking epicest thing ever.
Do you like the griddy?
I love the griddy. Are you Ninja?
From Fortnite.
From Fort Fight.
Turn it off.
See you later, everybody. I love you lots. Bye.
The video is ending. Fuck off now. The video is ending. Fuck off now. Go outside, Matthew and Dale too. And little Scoot. You fucking...
Poo.
Poo. Nice, nailed it. Right, fucking turn it off.
Okay.